because that's clearly bad. Have you recently noticed that you have a brand new water feature in your front yard? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Between the Sharks. Today, we're going to address the mystery of the brand new spring that has sprung in the middle of this yard. Yeah. So I'm going to show you how to hunt down this leak, and with today's modern plumbing products, this is absolutely a project you can do yourself and save boatloads of money. So apparently there has been a lot of head scratching over this thing, and a legit bona fide licensed plumber has come out and also scratched his head and then left. Well, we've got some clues here, fellers. The water meter is right here. So we're coming off the water main from the street, and guess what? Right in line. So maybe our new spring water selling business is not going to be as lucrative as we hoped. In fact, it's quite likely that we just have a leak in the main water line going into the house. In fact, I'm darn near certain of it. Let me show you how we cipher that out. Hello, worm. Here we have the water meter. So the thing about this is they usually got some kind of spinny looking thing right there that'll tell you if there's actually water running. So if all the water is off inside the house and you see the meter moving, then you know the water is going somewhere. It is passing the meter, going toward the house, and then where? And you gotta find out where. Well, I don't think we have to look too hard because, well, the grass is greener. Unfortunately, that's not good news for us today. Now, this seems to stump people because it isn't moving quickly here. The leak isn't terrible. I turned off all the water in the house, took a picture of the meter, and came back 24 hours later, and it had moved about 6 gallons. So it is a little hard to spot if you're looking right at it. So if you have a house full of family, friends, kids, you might need to try, like, at the end of the night to walk out here and take a look-see, and then in the morning maybe see before anybody jumps up and turns on the water, because once you turn the water on in the house, you're not going to get a good meter reading. But we have enough evidence right here to tell us, I think we got to dig a hole right there. I think code is 18 inches deep, but this house is built in the 50s, so it's probably about a foot, which is the frost line. Have to do some investigatory work, probably somewhere between the green grass and the end of the green grass. First step here, though, we have to shut off the water, because if digging ditches in dirt is difficult, digging mud is more difficult. I got my breakdancing cardboard. Everybody's got some laying around. This is ridiculous. I've never seen anything like it. What's more ridiculous is I don't have a shovel that fits in there, so I have this thingamadoodle. All right, so we made it down to the valve, which is going in line toward the house, which means it's open. So if we turn it 90 so it's perpendicular, that typically means it's off. Now, if you're a new homeowner, you want to identify where this thing is and make sure you have access to the valve, because let's say a pipe broke in the house. You don't want to be digging ditches while your house fills with water. You want to be able to come out here, turn the water off, and then assess the damage. Now, they do make a specific tool called a water key that's like a long stick that hooks on there and turns it. We should be able to turn it with this wrench. This is also an indication of how deep the water pipe might be, which here that's pretty shallow, which is great because we have to dig dishes. The degree of difficulty in this project has a lot to do with how much dirt you have to move and where the break is. This break is clearly in the center of the yard with no obstructions around it. Call 811 before you dig. It's totally free. They'll mark where the gas lines and the sewer lines and all that stuff are. You don't want to die doing a plumbing project, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, check your building codes, make sure that you're, if you're in the Pacific Northwest or Wisconsin where the cheese even freezes in the winter, you might be digging really deep. So you might need to phone a friend, buy some pizzas, have them help you dig a ditch. And if you want to look at the bright side of this, it's the water line in, so it's clean water. Could be the sewage line, and we'd be shoveling, digging for like a treasure trove of poo. All right, it's a plumbing project, and what I've learned over time is every plumbing project takes at least 3 trips to the store. So we have now done our first one. I got this fancy trenching shovel, some gloves, and this is the water key, because I was not having any luck turning that valve that's been buried with my crescent wrench. Usually that works, but it was not doing it. These things are super cheaply made. They're just a little U, a welded crosspiece. There's an 82% chance we bend it, but it may work in the meantime. I also brought some soapy water and some PB Blaster to help coax that valve along. Now you shouldn't have to do this, but if your valve hasn't been turned in a long time, you may have an issue, or if it's, say, been buried in mud for years. Give this the old one too. Gonna rock it back and forth. Not moving anything, but bending. So the valve's not moving, but we are bending the snot out of this thing. We got a problem, boys. All right. Don't have much choice except to dig down a little further, clean it off, and hit it with some penetrating oil. Hope we get better results. I don't really want to do this until the water's off because, well, it's gonna be a muddy mess, but I think I can kind of eyeball in line with this thing right to our big grassy section and see if I can find out how deep this water line is. She's real squishy right here, so we can safely say it's right here. Because that's clearly bad. I'm completely baffled as to how a licensed plumber was called out here and did not figure this out. But it happens, gang. It happens. All right, I missed over here and then I missed over here and it was right in between the two, so I'm not gonna go any further than this until I can get the water turned off, which, give me a big enough lever and I will move the earth, or in this particular case, break this valve. Just gonna keep rocking it back and forth till I get some kind of movement. I'm more likely to break this thing though. Yeah, it's not doing nothing. I'm bending this water key. So this thing is just not doing it. We're gonna go build a better one because we have the capability to go build a better one. So we can move on with our project. You shouldn't have to do this, but you know, maybe there's a better one available for sale. We're just gonna go build a better one. Yep, okay. All right, team. So around here, every project begets another project. Fortunately, I'm all set up. We got more welders than we know what to do with. We just tested this thing out yesterday for the first time. It worked great. So we're gonna fire it up again and make a Mobetta water key out of something I have right here, right in here somewhere. And this evolution saw is one of my favorite tools of all time. It fits. That's good news. Oh, got a little bit. Got a little bit. There we go. Let's work it back and forth. So, unfortunately, I'm not seeing anything obvious. No tree root through it, no obvious cracks. So, I gotta turn the water back on and we'll just see where it sprays out. It's gonna fill this thing with mud pretty quick, but what else are you gonna do, you know? As I was leaning in there right at the end, I put my hand right there and this glove just filled up with water. There we go, team. It's right there at that joint. I don't know if so this is a tree root from a tree that was removed from over there, but it just grew enough to push this PVC out of alignment. I don't think the PVC is cracked or anything. It just broke this joint a little bit. PVC is pretty good stuff, but that is an issue that can happen. PVC doesn't really want to move. We'll shut her down. We got to go get some supplies. I think this is the other issue. You can see they only got about 1/4 inch in there, and it should go significantly further, about halfway through this. So, you know, that is what it is. We'll let this water evaporate while we go get some stuff to fix this thing. I'm unthrilled about the fact that this is still full of water. So we're gonna have to dig a trench down this way, a little bit, over there, a little bit, that way, to get this water to drain out, because we need this to be clean. I bought some more PVC and some couplers. We'll figure out exactly what we need to do, see if we can make it Mobetta. All right, this isn't going anywhere, and I don't really feel like digging a big ditch. There are a bunch of options out there for you, sump pumps, You can grab a hand siphon. There's a few inexpensive choices out there that'll be a little bit of a pain, but they'll work. I am gonna just improvise with what I have, which is I'm gonna try a portable battery pack. Been loving these portable power stations and sump pump. Maybe I can just expedite this because I want to call it done. D-U-N, done. So I got this sump pump that's been kicking around forever. Used it to empty, like, you know, cheap swimming pools and all kinds of stuff. I don't even know where I got it, but it comes in handy for plumbing projects like this. This is the EcoFlow River 3 battery, which it's just a portable power station, weighs less than 10 pounds. All right, that little feller's hooked up. In the drink you go. Power this guy up. I have 3 of these. I got one from EcoFlow, one from Blue Eddy, one from All Powers, and I like them all very much. This one is the smallest one, so size really does change how much battery juice you got in there, but this one's super portable. Weighs under 10 pounds. The other ones I have are like 25 pounds. Still portable, but heavier. And in this case, hopefully it'll be easier than dragging a 100-foot extension cord out and finding a place to plug it in. So here we go. Turn that on. Press the AC on button. Hey, look at that. All right, we'll let it drain. Let it do its thing. See the muddy puddle running out down there? Not bad at all. All right, so there's 100 ways to fix this. I'm just your cheerleader on this one. I'm gonna splice in some PVC. I could probably just re-glue that and it would probably be okay. I'm not really thrilled with the idea that there's no purple stuff here, which means I don't think whoever did this real right. But we're gonna pretend like we didn't acknowledge that and save that for later when it all explodes. But for right now, I'm just gonna put in a section where I know the couplings are going to be glued in right. I can pull this out, but there's shark bite fittings, compression fittings, a lot of stuff that's up to code and safe that you guys can use. Even if you have steel pipe or galvanized pipe or whatever it is you have, there's a product that you can get at your home improvement store or your Ace Hardware or wherever you like to go. Like, call them or just get out of the car and knock on the door, dog. I'll walk down there and knock on the door for you. Or we're just gonna do a splice. There's 2,800 ways to cut PVC. I like these. Hi-ya. Hi-ya. Pretty clean cut. Throw them in the toolkit. You do it yourself or you. I'm gonna go ahead and take this out just past the coupling. Come on, buddy. Get in there. Oh man, this was dumb. All right, there we go. Out you go. I'm telling you, this is way better than sewer lines. So now we're gonna take this line, set it up against this one, and we're gonna cut right back there where it ends. All right, so these PVC couplers have this little ridge right in there, and that is the dead stop for the PVC to slide in. Now, if you're in really tight quarters, you can actually sand that down, and then that way you can actually slide the thing past the stop and then back to make your connection. You got to work fast because this is contact cement, and contact cement kind of starts to stick to itself on contact, but you can if you have to. In our case, I think I can lift these up enough to sleeve them in properly without doing that, and if I'm wrong, I'm going to be cutting it all apart and starting over. All right, you got to start with the purple stuff. That's the primer. We're going to put everything together that we can topside because it's not nearly as dirty as in the pit. I had to go grab channel locks because these things are impossible to open, and I know that. And the weather's coming in, so let's get this thing done, right? Yeah, before I get rained on. Yeah, it means move faster than what I'm doing right now. Yep. All right, I lost you there for a second. So we hit the purple primer on everything in here, and then we used the cement, which is, for some reason, this all-weather blue stuff is what I got. Jammed both couplers on until they're seated all the way at the end. Just gonna let it set up for about 30 seconds, and we gotta be good to go. So this is gonna be a little tricky. I gotta get that pipe clean enough, and then we gotta hit purple primer, then cement, and then we'll stick that together, and then we'll work on this other side down here. So to get started with it, I'm gonna go ahead and jam the shovel under here, just to help keep it out of the muck. Clean paper towels. So we're gonna take the purple primer, all the way around like that. Gonna bang some of this cement on it. All right, because I can, I'm gonna hit that with more primer, more cement. Plenty in there. I'm gonna jam these guys together all the way till it's seated, giving it a little turn. All right, just gonna hang on to this feller for just a few seconds till it sets up. It's sitting on the shovel, should be good to go. We're gonna do the same thing over here to this other side, get it out of the muck. All right, we're gonna hit it with the purple. Gonna hit it with the blue. Gonna get the blue all up in there. Jam them together. All right, with any luck, we got it. And if we didn't, we're gonna do the same thing all over again, more better. Ain't big deal to screw stuff up, gang. It's how you learn how to do anything. There's all kind of stuff I know how to do, and I still screw it up all the time. Don't be afraid of that. I'll give it 5 minutes, and then we'll see. Need to find, while we wait the 5 minutes, I'll find the hose, so I can turn the hose spigot on so that any muck that got in there just kind of runs straight back out. Then we have clean water, it'll all be fine. What you don't want is if you have a tanked water heater, or even a tankless, you don't want to run that stuff through if and you can avoid it. That looks like a hose doohickey. It's open now. So that cement should set up almost instantly. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the water on and just see if this fills up. And if it does, we got a problem, and yo, I'll solve it. You know what I'm saying? It's like vanilla ice. Heard the hose start spraying. That's what it looks like when it's really cooking. All right, that's doing pretty good. So now, I'm gonna check the water. If it's running clean, which it should be by now, thinking about it, then we'll go ahead and shut this off, which will pressurize that line, and that'll tell us if we got a leak or not. What? Wash my paws. All that pressure is on our new improved PVC fitting down in the whole situation. I'm not seeing any water running. Seems to be holding. Let's go see if the meter's running for any reason, just as a matter of course here. It is not. Gang, we're gonna call this problem solved. You can do this. You absolutely can do this, even if you have a different situation. Digging ditches, even if they're deeper than this, will save you many thousands and thousands of dollars. Trust me, I know. I've had quotes out here to have people do stuff like this. I had a sewer line that was similar to this. It was about 2.5 feet deep. And they quoted me $6,000 to find it and replace whatever the section was, not even to redo the whole thing. So saved $6 grand by digging a ditch myself. Yeah, it stunk, really, literally, because it was a sewer line. But, you know, it's a lot of money that would have been out of my pocket. And so I encourage you to believe in yourself and try it. If you're so inclined, half interested, I think you can do it. Also, you know, don't do what I do. Don't save that $6 grand and then spend it on another project. Go take yourself a nice vacation. Steak dinner, that kind of thing. All right, gang. As always, thank you so much for watching Between the Sharks. I'm gonna let this dry out. We're gonna fill it back in and we're gonna call it a day. So as always, thank you very much for watching Between the Sharks. Consider subscribing, maybe buying a t-shirt if you really want to support the channel, memberships, Amazon store, all this stuff. I'll put these tools and all this junk in the Amazon store just in case you need a shopping list. Don't have to buy it from them, but if you do, they do help me out. Good luck on your projects, and we'll see you next time on Between the Sharks. Who knows what we'll be doing. Didn't plan on this.